I would like to welcome everyone today to the State Board meeting for Tuesday, March 14th, 2023. And I would like to ask Dr. O'Shields if he'd please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
If everyone would please stand. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
As we begin, I do ask all of our board members and speakers who may be speaking during the meeting to please speak into the microphone so that we can accurately hear everything for the minutes. All right, you have before you the minutes for February 14th, 2023. Is there any objection to approving the minutes as they are presented to you? Hearing none, the minutes are approved by unanimous consent. You also have before you the agenda for today's meeting. Is there any objection to approving the agenda as presented for today's meeting? Hearing none, the agenda is approved by unanimous consent. We do welcome everyone in attendance and any that may be listening, and we thank you for your interest in the work of the State Board of Education. We do have two visitors that are on our guest list. Some of the ones on our guest list are going to be speaking later, but Marshall Fisher is here. Hi, we're glad to have you here today. Wesley Gibson. Wonderful. We're glad to have you here today, Mr. Gibson. We also, I know, have several teachers from Anderson School District 1, but I'm going to hold off on that only because I know that that is going to come up in public participation, if that's okay. Are there any news media present who did not sign in? Okay, thank you. We do have some other special guests as well, but I'm going to let Ms. Lee introduce those.
Thank you very much, Chair Stapleton. I serve as a university supervisor for teacher candidates through Clemson University, and this experience has given me the opportunity to see the excellent teaching going on in our schools across the state of South Carolina. I have invited 4 of the teacher candidates to attend today because I wanted them to see the work of the State Board of Education and how it impacts the classrooms across the state. I am so very proud of these teacher candidates, and I am confident that they are an indication of the excellent job that universities across the entire state are doing, preparing teachers to enter the classroom. And with their permission and your permission, I would like to recognize the 4 of them and ask them to stand when I please call their names. Carrie Garner, Kat Cave, Jalen Hill, and Julia Loy. Thank you very much for coming today.
And we do echo the sentiments of Mrs. Lee. And thank you so much for your career choice. We are very glad. And we thank you for the future impact we know you're going to have on children in our state. So thank you so much for that. We do have next a special recognition. So I believe Mr. Walters is going to help me with this. And Mr. Mike Brennan, if you would please come forward. Mr. Brennan, we wanted to recognize him today because he served on the State Board of Education for 13 years. And he was the chair when I came on, the first person that I was able to meet. And not only served for 13 years, but twice was the chair. And was the chair whenever we first entered the experiences of COVID and what to do. And I know for me personally, I can't imagine anyone better to have led us during that time. And I know I am so appreciative of all of his knowledge, his expertise, and everything he does for education in South Carolina. And it goes beyond just the state board. He serves on so many committees, task force, boards. He is a true champion for children. And so we wanted to recognize him today for his 13 years of service. And Mr. Walters is also going to share.
Yeah, Mike, we've got a little memento here for you as well, and I just want to say and express my appreciation for Mr. Brennan. When I came on the board and then I ultimately became chair, I always thought, I want to be like Mike when I grow up. And I still aspire to that goal. So Mike, you've been an outstanding advocate for public education in South Carolina, and certainly a great role model and mentor for me. And so on behalf of the grateful board and state, we want to thank you for your service. This is your actual first appointment letter from Governor Sanford, dated January 4th, 2010. How about that? And the governors of Holland seem to agree with you. You've been there for a long time, so we just wanted to share that with you, Mike.
Yeah, I never got much of a chance to stand up here during all that time, but no, I think all of you know that one of my favorite words is gratitude. And I just want to express gratitude to the opportunity to serve with each of you, to serve with your predecessors, to serve previous superintendents, Madam Superintendent, many chairs, Chair Stapleton. But it's been one of the joys of my life to be able to do this, quite frankly. When Governor Sanford asked me to do it, it was replacing somebody who resigned. And so when Governor Haley became governor, she said, we just want you to stick around. And then Henry said he wanted me to stick around until this January, I think it was January, December, he called me. And he said, Mike, he said, you've been doing this a long time. You've chaired the board twice. It's time for somebody else to do this. And I said, Governor, I serve at your pleasure, so I'm happy to do that. And then I found out that Rita Allison was going to replace me as the governor's appointee. And I couldn't be more pleased with Rita. She and I have been buddies for a long time. We've worked on lots of education issues over time. So she's going to be an excellent governor's appointee. So good to be
I wouldn't have
replaced.
taken it had I known you were
Oh,
not
sure.
going to be.
No, you're going to be great. And Ellen and I, we've known each other for a long time. Ellen actually, because I was going to resign when Molly was finished with her term, but Ellen and I spoke, and she said, well, if you could maybe stick around another year, but obviously the governor had other plans, and that's fine. So I would have enjoyed having that year, but we're close. We're going to stay in touch. Just one more thing. My mother a long time ago said, Mike, if you ever have an opportunity to speak in front of more than 5 or 6 people, give them something to think about. And so what I want to give you to think about, and I hope all of you thought through this anyway, that every decision that you make at this table, you first and foremost say, is this what's right for the children of South Carolina? And if you can't answer that, then maybe it's not the right thing to do. And then the second thing is this the right thing to do for the teachers in our schools throughout the state? And again, if it's not the right thing to do, don't do it. So I just leave you with that thought that children and teachers ought to help you navigate through your decision-making. And if you do that and do that well, you'll be a board that accomplishes a lot, and one that people can say, gee, they did great things for children and great things for teachers and great things for public education. So again, I'm grateful. It's good to be with all of you, and it was kind of interesting to sit out there versus sit around that table. But this has been one of the joys in my life, so thank you.
know we need to get a photo with Mr. Brennan before we leave, and I was gonna see if someone in the department can take a picture, just even if it's with your cell phone.
It's not a photo, you're gonna get your picture made.
Yes, yes. Okay, I am going to get creative.
Get
You want me to
creative.
move? I will let you know if I can. Frame. Perfect. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, y'all.
Y'all have a good rest of your meeting, okay? Take care.
Thank you. One thing I did also want to share in my report, yesterday we were able to have a board orientation here at the department, and I know I've had so many of our board members just share about how wonderful that was. So we are so grateful to Superintendent Weaver and the State Department staff for leading that. It was so beneficial for everyone, so we appreciate that very much. And that concludes my report. So then I would like to turn it over to you for your report.
Wonderful. Well, as a segue, that was perfect because I also was just going to thank the agency staff for the wonderful work that they put into giving us really just a high-level overview of the fiduciary responsibilities that we hold here on the state board. And many great ideas came out of that. One of them is something that I haven't had a chance to talk to Deputy Superintendent Ferguson about yet, but the idea that we might want to get our Education Oversight Committee and State Board together. I think figuring out ways that we can collaborate constructively and be on the same page would be a wonderful use of time. And interestingly enough, Mike has already left, but when I first came on to the EOC, that was one of the first meetings that I attended when he was chair of the State Board. We had a combined meeting, and I thought it was really productive. So we'll look for opportunities to do that in the future. Just a couple of quick things that I wanted to bring to the board's attention. We have a memo that's going to be going out to superintendents here in the next few days. And I know Dr. O'Shields and maybe you too, Chair Stapleton, are aware of it, but our Schools of Innovation Exploration Fellowship, we are going to be inviting superintendents to come and engage in a really robust learning opportunity around the Schools of Innovation law that Miss Allison was such an instrumental part of passing when she was in the General Assembly. This will not be any obligation to districts, but it's a coalition of the willing. People who want to learn more are being invited to learn more. I'm also very grateful as the House debates the budget on the floor this week that they have included a significant amount, just over $40 million for the literacy initiatives that we proposed in our Education Innovation Fund. And so I'm very excited to see that. I'm going to be working hard with lawmakers and our staff to ensure that that stays in the budget and that we can move that important work forward. And then I'm also very excited that this week is the first opportunity that I have had to engage in the Teacher of the Year celebration. And so this is the big week where we narrow down our 5 finalists. So we are going to be making surprise visits around to districts in the state, and we have expanded the celebration this year from a classroom celebration to a school-wide celebration at the schools where these lucky teachers, these wonderful teachers are residing. So I'm excited about that. That will be the rest of my week. And we will culminate that celebration with the selection of a finalist at a celebration that we're calling the Gala in the Garden. We are going to be having a wonderful garden party luncheon on the grounds of the governor's mansion in collaboration with the governor on April the 26th. So we're very excited about these celebrations. It's wonderful to have some of our teachers of the year from the district level here, and just really, really excited about that celebration. So that concludes my report.
Wonderful, thank you. Do any of the board members have any questions for Superintendent Weaver? Okay, wonderful, well, thank you. And that next will bring us to Mr. John Tyler and his parliamentarian report.
No report this time.
Okay, perfect. We talked so much yesterday, right? Wonderful. Next, we do have public comment, and so we are very excited to have Fran Bailey from Anderson School District 1, and I believe that you will be introducing some of those guests. That's what we were going to wait on. At the beginning of any, oh no, you can come on up, but at the beginning of anyone speaking at the board meeting, we just thank you for your interest in public education, and we do have a 5-minute time limit. So Dr. O'Shields will keep us on track with that. So, but we're so glad that you're here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us today, and good afternoon. My name is Fran Bailey. I've been working as an art teacher at Wren Elementary School for 23 years in Anderson School District 1, and today I'm here with 5 other teachers. They are Teachers of the Year at their schools as well, and I wanted to take a moment to introduce them. So if you guys would just stand when I call your name. Ellie Baker from Hunt Meadows, Nancy McAmer from Palmetto Middle, Hunter Walters from Powdersville Elementary, Anne Marie Yoni from Palmetto High, and Danielle Young from Powdersville Middle. So, thank you guys for coming. I don't think it's possible to find a group of teachers more passionate and invested in the lives of students in Anderson School District 1, and I'm so grateful that they came today. We're visiting the State House today and visiting you guys today. We just want to learn more about educational advocacy, and we want to advocate first and foremost for our students and also for the teaching profession. And so I'm happy to see our student teachers back there. That's awesome. And our goal today is to build bridges with you guys and our legislators, and we would love to serve as a source for what is actually happening in the classroom and then how your decisions do trickle down. So I've asked all of them, we would like to invite you to our classrooms anytime. You're welcome. And thank you guys so much for the important work that you do here. We think that South Carolina is a great place to teach, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I know you have Miss Lee over here crying almost, so I mean, so proud because you're in her area, yes. And where she taught, and she and I just had this conversation earlier. I started my teaching career at Hunt Meadows Elementary, so there you go. But we agree with you that education in South Carolina is wonderful, and we're so fortunate, and it's such an honor to be able to be life changers for children. So thank you for doing that on a daily basis, and thank you for being here today. We are going to move now on to our state board items and our committee reports. I will begin with the Policy and Legislative Committee. We did meet this morning. We had one item for approval, and that was the second reading of Regulation 43-188, displaying the flag. We approved the first reading, as you'll remember, as a board in January, but then we had to wait for a public review period, and that's why it's come back before us today for the second reading. It was approved within committee, and we did vote to move that to our consent agenda. Following approval of that, then it will be submitted to the General Assembly for a joint resolution. Also, as information, we were provided a report by Dr. Sarah Longshore of the most recent waivers that had been granted to school districts as well. Does anyone have any questions regarding that report? All right. Well, then that will serve as a motion from the Policy and Legislative Committee for our report. It doesn't require a second. Is there any discussion? Okay. With no questions, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Wonderful, that carries. Next, I would like to recognize Mrs. Lee to present the Educator Professions Committee report. And she had quite a few agenda items today.
Thank you, Chair Stapleton. The Education Professions Committee approved 4 action items earlier this morning. Item 1 is critical need subjects in schools for employment of retired educators, 2023-24. Item 2 is an approval of out-of-state clinical experience placement, University of South Carolina, Columbia. Action item 3 is a new educator preparation program approval recommendation, Charter Inspire Alternative Certification Pathway, submitted by the South Carolina Public Charter School District. And item 4 is a new educator preparation program approval recommendation, Low Country Educator Alternative Pathway, LEAP, for Beaufort County School District. The committee heard 4 information items this morning. The first item, Professional Review Committee, PRC, Educator Preparation Provider and Program Updates. Item 2 is the Annual Report on Individuals Certified through American Board. Item 3 is the Report on Individuals Certified through the South Carolina Teach for America Program, 2021-22. And the last item for information only is the Annual Report on Individuals Certified through Teachers of Tomorrow. The Education Professions Committee placed the 4 action items on the consent agenda.
Thank you, Mrs. Lee. Does anyone have any questions? All right. Well, then that serves as a motion from the Educator Professions Committee. It doesn't require a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, then that is approved. Next, I would like to recognize Mrs. Frierson to present the Standards Learning and Accountability Committee report.
Good afternoon. The Standards Learning and Accountability Committee approved 1 action item and placed it on the consent agenda. It was the second reading of the SLA 01 synopsis, integration of American Sign Language, ASL standards into the 2019 South Carolina College and Career Ready Standard for World Language Proficiency. Are there any questions?
Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Frierson? Okay, hearing none, that is a motion from the committee to approve their report. It does not require a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. I would now like to recognize Mr. Walters to present the Educator Licensure Committee report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our committee heard 15 cases this morning. 12 of those were for breach of contract, 2 were for unprofessional conduct, and 1 was an initial application which was approved. And all of those cases were submitted to the full board during the full board license committee meeting, and they were all ratified.
Thank you. We appreciate it. And as always, we appreciate the work of your committee going through all of those different cases. As he stated, we were able to ratify during the full board licensure committee meeting. And in our full board licensure committee meeting, we had 3 cases for consideration. That resulted in approval of initial certificate, a dismissal, and a suspension. And so that is a total of, oh my goodness, I gotta do the math. How many did you say you had?
15.
15. That's a total of 18 cases we heard today. And as always, we are so appreciative of the Office of General Counsel at the State Department and all of the work you do to make sure that we have all the information we need well in advance to be prepared for those. All right. The consent agenda has been discussed, and action items were moved to the consent agenda, which each committee just reported on. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Dr. Shields, for making that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Kreminger, for the second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Wonderful, that motion carries. As you look at the agenda, you do see 2 of the items, 1 and 2. We have already discussed those in committee, shared those in our reports, and those were approved on the consent agenda. But we do have additional items we will be reviewing today, and we would like to recognize Mr. John Tyler to lead us through those.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and may it please the board. In front of you are 4 waiver requests for athletics from 3 districts. This board is quite familiar with the process. These districts have contacted the State Department of Education requesting hearing of waivers pursuant to South Carolina Code 5939-160C. And of course, by statute, this board has the authority to waive a student's ineligibility to participate in interscholastic activities under certain circumstances. Specifically, the code provides as follows. This waiver may be granted when a written statement from a school district superintendent and athletic director has been received stating a student's ineligibility to participate in interscholastic activities is due to misinformation concerning eligibility requirements being provided by district personnel. I'm going to present the law one time and let you all hear from the districts on the 4 pending waiver requests. And just as a housekeeping matter, I'm going to provide some general instructions to the schools and/or districts who are presenting. 'Tis the season for March Madness. We won't turn on the shot clock, but it should take no more than about 2 minutes to provide an overview of your request. And then please take a moment for the board to ask questions and respond to their questions. We'll go a little bit out of order for the sake of efficiency. We'll start with Lancaster, and then Bishop England, and then Abbeville, you're going to come last with 2 separate waiver requests. So let's please hear from Lancaster first.
Got the clock ready? All right. All right. Thank you all for having me today. My name's Eric Funderburk. I'm the athletic director at Beaufort High School in Lancaster County. I spoke to Dr. Phipps last night, and he said he had talked to Ms. Crimminger that I had permission to speak for our district. We're requesting a waiver on one of our student athletes. Andrew Michael Plyler is a senior soccer player. He was taking a welding class through a tech school in our area. The tech school signed those guys up for, we had about 10 kids at our school, signed them up for the welding class that they wanted and 4 or 5 other general education classes. The general education classes didn't work out for those guys, and all those kids ended up dropping the general ed classes just to take the welding because they'd gone through our career center and taken all the welding they could do. We did not get word from the tech school that they had dropped these classes until later in the semester, and I didn't figure out that he had dropped the classes until I got ready to start soccer eligibility, which is about a month ago. So he played on our basketball team, and he's been since 7th grade, he's been in our soccer program. So he's going to be ineligible for his senior year because of the lack of communication between the tech school and our guidance department. If we'd have known a little bit earlier, we could have signed him up, put him in another class, so he would have had his 2 courses that he had to have to be eligible. It was just a lack of communication with everybody involved. We could have had him eligible had we known that he was dropping the classes. He played the rest of basketball season, and we had no idea that he was only taking that 1 class. We do plan to work with our dual enrollment schools that we work with to try to get a bi-weekly attendance policy in place so that we'll know in advance beforehand before we get to this situation again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Funderburk. And if you don't mind staying there in case anyone has any questions. And I know we were very glad to see in your letter that there was going to be a way to have stronger communication
Yes, ma'am.
with the local colleges to know about that attendance. Do any of our board members have any questions for Mr. Funderburk?
It wasn't clear to me whether the student knew what the requirements are.
Our guidance department says that they go through with every student that you have to have 2 classes to be a certified, to be a full-time student. When I spoke to Andrew, he said he never heard that. Kids, when they get ready to take dual enrollment, they don't have to really worry about that until their senior year because they're always taking a full load. He was trying to get into the welding program. He had to apply to get into it. When he got in there, he just said he wasn't sure that he had to have the 2 classes or he would have came back and signed up for something else. It was just he didn't want to go into York Tech and take psychology, English, everything else. He could have went ahead and taken his government econ was the last thing he's got to take. He could have taken it in the fall semester and had a chance to be eligible.
Any other questions? Okay, then we will entertain a motion regarding this waiver request.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Dr. O'Shields. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Allison. Okay, any discussion?
And I appreciate, and it's going to be an ongoing issue, but we will work it.
Yes, sir.
This idea of working with the dual enrollment programs and the
Yes, sir. That's, we haven't had this come up yet. We've had a lot of dual enrollment kids, but we haven't had this come up. So we're just going to try to find a way to work through that.
And I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, then we'll vote on that motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you,
Thank
Mr. Funderburk, for being here today, and please tell Mr. Plyler we hope he has a great soccer season.
Thank you. I will.
Tell Jonathan Phipps hello too.
Yeah, tell him hello. Okay, thank you. Next, we will have the representative from Bishop England High School come forward.
Good afternoon. I'm Patrick Fenton, president at Bishop High School. You guys are an imposing group. First, I want to thank you for all you all do. I know while I'm at a Catholic school, I truly appreciate the stuff that you all have to do on a daily basis and the decisions you make. And I can't remember the gentleman's last name, as Mike said. I always kind of focus on my 20 years of being a principal. What's it mean to the student? Student always goes first. And so the South Carolina High School League, as you saw in my letter, changed the executive committee to the state law from what they had before. And it wouldn't be a big deal if that was done in March when it was voted on by the full body of schools. The problem is when that was voted on was August 2nd. It was not presented to us fully as schools in September 1st, and then it wasn't given kind of more attention until mid-September for us. So we have several students at Bishop High School who would be eligible under the old rules of the South Carolina High School League by passing 4 classes in the first semester, but they aren't eligible now because of the change in the rule that they have to pass 5 or their core classes. So it's an unusual request from Bishop High School because it's not just one student. I have 3 students that are affected by this, and I'm sure there are other students in the state that are affected the same way that you might have talked to before. But that's where we are. One is a senior, and she's missing her softball season, and she's actually going to play softball in college. One is a sophomore, one is a freshman. And all, as a principal, or president now, I always encourage our kids to do something else in school, and athletics is one of those things, and that's an extension of our school day. So that should represent what we do as a school every day. And so that's important to me that they have the opportunity to participate. That's all I have.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Questions? Okay, we will entertain a motion regarding the waiver request for Bishop England High School.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Ms. Chapman. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Walters. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Thank you for being here
I do have
today.
a kind of technical question. So are those students eligible today, or we wait for a letter from you all?
I will refer that to our general counsel.
And then when they're. It's officially on the record. So, okay, perfect. Because I have a parent who will call me on the way home and
There you
ask me that
go.
question.
Well, I'm sure you have
Thank
some
you all.
parents you probably want to call on the way home, right?
Probably.
Yes.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you for being here today.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
We just approved that. Now, are we going to send out something to all the other school principals and let them know that we've waived this? And is it a general condition, or do they have?
Well, that was just for Bishop England High School because they are the ones that came with that request. But then Mr. Tyler's department will respond to them in writing so they have that follow-up. Okay. All right, I would like to ask the representative from Abbeville School District to please come forward.
Hello, State Board. Great
Hi.
to see you. I'm Mason Gary, Superintendent in Abbeville County. I have with me Miss Maggie Jameson. She is the AD at Abbeville High School, and we have today opportunity to present 2 of our students to you to appeal their eligibility as well. And in the packet for Mr. Gordon, you can see a statement written by one of our counselors that indicated nothing about eligibility was discussed with these students. Therefore, taking dual credit, they both did not do so well and hence became ineligible. So the parents did not know that, the students did not know that. And so I'm coming to you today telling you that as superintendent, we're going to own this problem. That is a situation when we rise together and we fall together. We've got a communication issue that we're going to correct, starting with our IGP process, where we're going to have a statement listed for all students regarding eligibility. We're going to put it in our athletic handbook, our academic handbook, and our coaches will now announce this to their students and parents at their parent meetings. So I want you to know I'm not coming with excuses. This is a blunder that I'm going to accept fully as superintendent, but I am asking for grace for these two students because they're mine, and I feel like I need to advocate for them. And if we have any questions, myself or Ms. Jameson will be glad to answer those.
Y'all don't play Clennon, do you?
We're trying to schedule them.
I could tell by your face you're about to say something.
I know
I
him
think
too
you
well.
made Mr. Tyler
I
hold
know
his
him
breath.
too well. I know him too well.
I know. I
They
know.
don't say anything.
I've known him longer, high school, middle school.
Yeah. Well, and Dr. Gary, we also appreciate, just like you said, taking ownership for that. And I think it's something we've talked about to even emphasize to all the school districts in the state about making sure we communicate clearly so that it does avoid those concerns in
And
the
I
future.
do think that is something that as we go through, all of us,
Mm-hmm.
you know, whether Bishop England private or part of the high school league, it's something that we can communicate in coaches' meetings, South Carolina Athletic Coaches Association, high school league, schools, because you're not alone. And I do admire, and I seriously, all jokes aside, I do appreciate your willingness to advocate on behalf of your students. Same for Bishop England and Beaufort with Lancaster. We don't want to punish the children for things that at times might be an adult issue.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Do any of our board members have any questions for Dr. Gary or for Ms. Jameson?
I just have a comment. Yes, I do appreciate you're willing to take ownership over the problem, but I appreciate much more greatly the fact that you have a plan going forward to correct the issue. And that's, I would say, is the more important issue. So thank you very much for your leadership there.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I know we have two cases here. First, are there any more questions? Does everyone have? Ms.
I have a
Allison?
comment that I want to make because I know that it's not just this year and it's not, Dr. Gary, just you all coming to us, but this seems to be an ongoing from years past and all. So with the high school league, dual enrollment, technical colleges and wherever, there needs to be a sitting down and everybody coming together so that everybody's on the same song sheet. Because as was said by Mr. Hanley, it's the young person that is forgetting, did not know, and is being penalized for that. So there does need to be that collaboration. So I thank you for having a plan ahead, but everybody needs to be at the table to understand that.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Allison, we are reworking some of our articulation agreements with 3 institutions that do dual enrollment for us. So I agree, and we're trying to correct that as well.
Very good. Thank
And I
you.
do think, too, that it may be something that Ms. Weaver, in her role, the state chair of the technical college system, as well as all of the other dual enrollment possibilities with 4-year colleges, that we can work. Because the bottom line is the child gets called in the pickoff play.
That's right.
I agree. Any other questions? Okay, I know we have 2 student cases here. So let's start with student A, Chase Fisher. And do we have a motion in regard to that?
I so move.
Thank you so much, Ms. Allison. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Kriminger. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Now for the matter of student B, which is Michael Gordon. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Dr. O'Shields. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Collier. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you so
We thank
much.
you both for being here
We
today.
appreciate you.
Thank you. Next on our agenda, I would like to ask Director Kimberly Mack from the Office of School Transfer. Well, first I should have said, oh, you're going to be there today. Well, I should have said, is there anything else you had to share about that? Mr. Tyler? Okay, great. Well, not Kimberly Mack. We're going to have Matthew Ferguson come forward and share with us about our updates for Allendale County and Williamsburg.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen of the board, I am here to share some updates around Allendale and Williamsburg. And as Superintendent Weaver has often said, we are in listen and learn mode. And so I am happy to report that over the last couple of weeks, we've done a visit both to Allendale and Williamsburg with a team of staff members from the Department of Ed, and we have been reviewing plans, looking at data, really digging deep into the assessment plans, the curriculum, and also the instructional programs in those districts. That evaluation and assessment is still ongoing. We didn't want to just read it on paper. We actually wanted to go down and meet people, shake hands, and look them in the eyes. And so we have done that, and we are continuing that work to really assess where everything is and to develop a plan for support going forward. So that is really, the update is that we are visiting and meeting with people, but hope very soon to come back with a more definitive plan around what support looks like.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that report, Mr. Ferguson. Do any board members have any questions? Okay, thank you
very
so
much.
much.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
appreciate it. All right, regarding other business, I ask that all of our board members who have not turned in your travel forms, if you'll turn those in to Tracy before you leave today. Is there any other business to come before the board? All right, well then I will welcome a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Dr. O'Shields. A second?
Second?
All right, thank you, Ms. Kreminger. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We stand adjourned.